My name is Tarmack, and this is your Game Industry News Wrap-Up for the week of October 21st, 2017. Our lead story this week involves the latest studio to have been chewed up and spit out of the machine that is Electronic Arts. Visceral, the studio behind the Dead Space and Godfather series of games, as well as many others, is being shut down. A news update from EA Executive Vice President Patrick Soderlund indicated that the story-based linear Star Wars game that Visceral was developing needed to have a pivot in design. Rather than continue to have Visceral work on it and change the overall design focus with them, they've elected to shut the studio down and move the game project to an EA Vancouver team that has already begun work on it. All of that said, however, Jason Schreier of Kotaku commented that rumors coming out of the studio were that the project was a bit of a mess. Where the truth resides is likely somewhere in the middle, but at the end of the day, seeing Electronic Arts pivot away from a single-player story experience is as surprising as getting bitten while petting a dog with rabies. For development studios out there, might I make a suggestion? While the big publishers are chasing trends, they're leaving existing genres and markets unserved. Let the rabid frothing dog stumble after the car and go steal his food while he's gone. Activision Blizzard has cleared up any misunderstanding related to the 2015 patent filing that would have matched together gamers based on increasing the likelihood of purchasing microtransactions by showing off cool unlocks other players had. Quote, "This was an exploratory patent filed in 2015 by an R&D team working independently from our game studios. It has not been implemented in-game." End quote. I would like to point out at this juncture that patents are not filed by R&D teams, they're filed by legal teams. Either way, nobody will ever know whether a system like this is in place. Frankly, I'd be surprised if Activision Blizzard would lie about something like this. They've had such a good track record of honesty and trustworthiness. Game media site The Escapist seems to be having some difficulty. A post on their forums from moderator Jojo indicated that effectively only Yahtzee is still on staff, with a few contractors hanging around for a little while longer. The Escapist is of course a gaming news and reviews site that many have been using for years, but has seen a slow but steady exodus over the more recent of those years. Going forward, the moderator team is voluntary only, which kinda sucks for the folks over there who are putting in all of this work. No word yet on whether this is a temporary situation, and I suspect that once Yahtzee escapists from his contract, it will be the last straw for the site. Slipping in a bit of local news, I'm bringing the GnomeCast back to life. I originally named this channel with the intent of running a regular podcast, and then I went and only ever did one. So, mark your calendars and follow Tarmack Gaming on Twitch. We will go live at 11 AM Mountain Standard Time on Saturday, November 4th. And for those who are in the Patreon crowd, make sure you're on Discord or have let me know you want to be in the pool, as I've got a spot or two open. You do need a webcam and a mic. It's somewhere other than from the webcam itself. Continuing the trend of everything must be in the cloud, despite the cloud just meaning a server not in your house, Gran Turismo Sport has been set up with cloud-only saves. When the servers go up and down like the springs on a casting couch, or just down at some point later in its life cycle, all saving in the game will be unavailable to the players. This leaves players with just the arcade and no access to campaign features and challenges. You better have some real confidence in your cloud service to pretend cloud-only saving in a game with plentiful single-player content is a good idea. At this stage of the game, there's no legitimate justification that benefits the consumer. It's just thinly veiled DRM because these days, de novo is as effective as trying to clean your carpet with a mop. Microsoft has added an anti-cheat system called TruePlay to the Windows 10 Fall Update. Per an MSDN article, Microsoft describes the feature as providing developers a new set of tools to combat cheating within their PC games. A game enrolled in TruePlay will be run as a protected process, and Windows itself will also monitor gaming sessions for common cheating-related behaviors, with alerts being sent to the developer. End users can turn this feature off in Windows if they wish, however, games enrolled in TruePlay by the developer would not be available to them. My only concern is that sometimes these systems aren't that great and result in a higher than necessary amount of false positives. That said, it's great news for developers who use the Windows UWP system, which is quite a few, as the Play Anywhere functionality includes UWP as part of its support. And our feel-good story of the week. I get a little bit of hate for ragging on Nintendo, which I do, but I do out of love. As it turns out, my predictions relating to the Switch have been proven very wrong, and I'm willing to admit it. I had said that the Switch was likely to fail, and if it did, it would be Nintendo's last console. The Nintendo Switch, still difficult to find in many places, was the highest-selling console in September, which marks 3 months in a row Nintendo has held that position. It absorbed about 2/3 of all console sales last month, showing a little bit that the more elite versions of the other two are experiencing some difficulty in the marketplace. The thing is, I never wanted the Switch to fail. I love Nintendo games. I never want a creative company to do bad work. I want the best that gaming has to offer. I wanted to want a Switch, and as time goes on, that's happening more often with every great release that they have. So take this as my apology for being wrong. There's still Dorkfish on copyright on YouTube though, so I won't be taking my chances with game footage. Your game releases for the week of October 22nd to 28th are as follows. This is a big week for games. We start with the PC release of Destiny 2 on October 24th. Reunite humanity's scattered heroes, stand together and fight back to reclaim our home, several months after your console brethren. The FPS MMO extraordinaire is available only via the Battle.net client. Also on the 24th, we'll see the release of a nifty little game I've been watching for a while called Hidden Agenda. It's a crime thriller which is coming out for the PlayStation 4. You play it with friends by using your cell phone to essentially vote on different decisions throughout the story with up to 5 people. Are you going to work together? Or is there a contrarian in your midst? And to round out October 24th, Ubisoft E3 Stage Show Simulator, aka Just Dance 2018, is releasing. Dance like nobody is watching, because people watching would be remarkably embarrassing for most of us, to 40 new super hits and a back catalog of 300 songs with the Just Dance Unlimited system on the Xbox 360, One, PS4, PS3, Wii, Wii U, and finally the Nintendo Switch. Also on the Switch, there's a special Mario dance, which I can only assume looks something like this.
Do the Mario swing your arms from side to side, come on!
On October 27th, Assassin's Creed Origins releases for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. This iteration of the AC franchise is based in Egypt and has a series first by including a difficulty selector for players. As expected for an Assassin's Creed game, you have a wide range of areas to explore, both in distance and in height. Combat has been redone, and apparently, you can pet cats. Which, I mean, after a stressful assassination, who doesn't want to relax by petting a cat? Second, on October 27th, we'll see the hatful launch of Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch. Mario can use his crazy alien hat to take control of objects and enemies, kind of like Kirby, but without the whole eating thing. Oddly, similar to how Player 2 could control the ducks in Duck Hunt, if a second person wants to play the game, they just have to pick up a Joy-Con and can immediately control your hat, which sounds like an excellent way to mess with friends. I've mentioned it before, but as time goes on, the Switch becomes a more worthwhile purchase. I'm not quite there yet, but getting pretty close. And finally, also on October 27th, if you haven't killed enough virtual strawberry milkshake drinking Nazis for one lifetime, you'll get a chance to rectify that in Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Bethesda's story-based first-person shooter brings back the mechanized Nazi army with BJ Blazkowicz. The game includes loads of new weapons and abilities for all of your Nazi-killing needs, and will be out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. This has been your Game Industry News Wrap-Up for the week of October 21st, 2017. In addition to the GnomeCast show on November 4th, I'm also doing a once-a-month Q&A video, so feel free to drop any questions below for inclusion in that. My name is Tarmack. Thanks for watching.